You understand? In order to act as the true Rabbul Alameen, Allah has to be Ar-Rahmanur Rahim. How is it? Are you getting it? It is coming in a paired way. Like first sentence is paired with the second sentence. Right? So, and in there obviously it came as two, Ar-Rahman and Rahim, and then both are actually giving the the same character or same attribute of Rahmah. That is the mercy. But why did Allah put, did you ever ponder about it? Why did Allah put Ar-Rahmanur Rahim? Ar-Rahman before Ar-Rahim, not the other way around. Definitely there must be a significance of it, isn't it? Yeah? So what, have you ever wondered about it? What came to your mind when you thought about it? Yeah, go on.
Well, I remember in one of our previous sessions you mentioned, and I can't remember specifically if it was Ar-Rahman or Ar-Rahim, but one of the two is mercy not just to the believers, but all of creation.
Yes.
And that plays a part, but I've just forgotten which of the two.
Okay. In this world, think about this world. In this world, if you want to divide Allah's mercy into two types, one is very general for everybody, another is very specific for the believers. What do you think? Which one should be more suited to this world as opposed to hereafter? The first one or second one? More general, isn't it? So that then it would be more befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that He would be merciful to everybody, no matter whether the person is a believer or non-believer, isn't it? Yeah? So Ar-Rahman actually stands for that. Okay? So Ar-Rahman, both the words are for both this world and the hereafter. But Ar-Rahman is for more general giving. What do we say in normal English translation? We say most passionate and most merciful, isn't it? So most passionate is basically, no matter how much you swear at him, he is so passionate that still he behaves well with you. Still he continues giving you, isn't it? Right? Whether somebody is an atheist or agnostic or Islamophobe, he doesn't get upset. Does he? Okay.
Take your hands off.
Okay, so and Ar-Rahim is, both are, as I said, both are is for both the worlds, but Ar-Rahim is very specific to the mu'min or the believers. Yeah? Say for example, if you think about, when Allah mentions about Himself, He says Ghafurur. Never you would find in Quran Ghafurur Rahman. Can you see? Have you ever heard of this? What is it? There is a significance in it, isn't it? Because when it comes to forgiving, He forgives as a Rahim, not as a Rahman. Clear? Ar-Rahman is just only He gives. Yeah? Anybody. Right? And on the day of judgment, He will forgive the people or the believers as Ar-Rahim, isn't it? Okay. So now, in order to act as the true Rabbul Alameen, he needs to be Ar-Rahmanur Rahim. Then when someone is so passionate and so merciful to do only good and good and good of everybody, for each and every individual, then there would be some people who would try to, say for example, take away the other's rights, and then to do something bad deeds. Like say for example, if I say that I want to establish peace in this community. Yeah? What do? I do all the good things fine. But there would be always some bad elements. If I'm really serious about establishing peace in this community, I have to take care of those bad elements of the community, isn't it? So in there, I need to have the authority so that I can make them accountable. In order to act as a real Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Is it getting clear? And that's why the next verse is coming. The Maliki Yawmiddin. That means, whoa, people, remember this. That just because I'm Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, don't try to take advantage of it. Because one day, I'm going to make you accountable. And I have the authority and the power. Can you see? So this is the introduction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first part. Yeah? So it goes in, the explanation goes in this way, and the other way is very interestingly. Because, we always hear about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being kind of a punisher, our parents and our elders. If you don't do this, Allah is going to punish you. If you don't pray, as if kind of, Allah is somebody very scary, isn't it? But Allah is saying no. He is a Rabbul Alameen. He is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Rabbul Alameen, Rabbul Alameen is even greater than Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. SubhanAllah. Do you want me to say a little bit more about Rabbul Alameen again? Something came to my mind. Think about a mother giving birth to her baby, yeah? And then what she does? Exactly the amount of milk the baby needs, she will give him, isn't it? And then until the baby can start walking, she will try to take care of her in her lap, isn't it? The baby. And then she will let him or her, let the baby start walking, but initially what she would do, she would hold his or her hand, isn't it? So that the baby doesn't fall. But at the same time, she would want her baby to walk as well. Can you see? So until, how is she doing? She is allowing her baby to grow, but at the same time, she is making sure that the baby doesn't fall into any risk. Can you see? So that means both helping to develop and guiding. And all these things come as, doing, how do I say? This characteristics, this very characteristics is similar to being a Rabb. Exactly what Allah does that at His level. Obviously, this is just an example I said, isn't it? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you need your mom, He gives you the mom. When you need the milk of your mom, He gives you the 2.5 years, isn't it? Of weaning. Yeah? And after that, the mom's breasts get dry. Can you see? Exactly what is needed, Allah gives it. Alright? And then how He guides you? As a baby, I don't know whether you have ever been to, let's say, newborn baby just being born. Have you ever?
Yeah, my doctors.
Yeah? What happens, very soon, the baby, even without opening his eyes, before opening his eyes, he finds out the breast of his mother. Can you see? Who is guiding him? Allah. And that is the task of Rabb. Not only he allocates it, but also he guides you to it, so that you don't fall into any difficulty or any risk. When I just think about this, subhanallah, this is sufficient. If I understand Rabbul Alameen, I would love Allah. My love increases. And not only my love of Allah increases, but also the trust of Allah increases. Trust on Allah increases. And I become very, content. Even if I see something difficult happening. If I think that no, Allah is going to guide me. He wouldn't let me down. Because this is his task as a Rabb. He wouldn't let me down. Can you see? Yeah? So then, let's come back to this Maliki Yawmiddin. Yeah? So Maliki Yawmiddin, one explanation that I said is that in order to perform as the real Ar-Rahmanur Rahim, he needs to have the authority to make the people accountable if they go outside of the rules of the game, to stay in peace. Isn't it? Right? Okay. But other explanation is that before saying Maliki Yawmiddin, so that my slaves do not get scared of me, this is what Allah thought, right? Allah is thinking that He doesn't want His slaves to get scared of Him. That's why He said, okay, I am Rabbul Alameen, don't worry, I will take care of you. And with mercy of Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Yeah? So don't get scared of me just because I'm going to make you accountable. Do you understand? So that means even when I am going to make you accountable on the Day of Judgment, think that I am Rabbul Alameen and Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Do you get my point? So if you think in this way, can you ever think of Allah being scary? Being punisher? He's not. Out of so many hundreds of names, like there are more than 250 attributes or names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran and Hadith. Yeah? Generally in our community we know that there are 99 names, which are most popular. But there are more than 250 names of Allah there, attributes. Yeah? Out of those, only one name is Qahhar, the angry one, yeah, for punishment. And all of the others are just expression of either extension of Rabbul Alameen or explanation of Rabbul Alameen, like Khaliq, yeah, nourisher, sustainer, whatever you call, yeah. And the others are, expressions of Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Yeah. So now this is the first part. I think how many parts, as I asked you to actually figure out in the WhatsApp group, how many parts are there in Surah Fatiha? How many parts you can divide it into?
I split into two. From what I understood, two.
Me two. Anybody else? It is actually three.
But isn't the thing
the first part I have mentioned? It is kind of it is his introduction first. Yeah. It has got again this paired way of understanding. Is from his side he is introducing himself, but from the person, the slave of Allah who is reciting it, he is actually acknowledging it. Are you getting my point? When I am reciting, I am basically acknowledging that all the praises are due to Allah, who is Rabbul Alameen, who is Ar-Rahmanur Rahim, and who is Maliki Yawmiddin. So that means I am saying that, oh Allah, I understood who you are.
So you know the hadith which says that Allah has separated it into two halves. Is it the prayer and then the response? Is that when he says as two halves, or is it the surah itself is separated into?
I'm going to maybe if I read that hadith, yeah, inshallah. Basically, what happens is, how is it 3 parts? Okay, if you think it very on a surface level, it is 2 parts.
Yeah.
The first part is his introduction, and the second part is our prayer. But there is something in the middle. It is إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You are just declaring. You are not praying yet. You are either declaring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are giving him the signal that it is only you who I worship. It is only you who I seek help from, isn't it? So it is like I'm saying that, oh Allah, I have acknowledged it, I have accepted it, I am a Muslim. This middle part is like this, isn't it? So then you are actually making the prayer. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين, isn't it? So that's why it is effectively 3 parts, right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was mentioning, say Bismillah ar-Rahim. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported it. Okay, man salla salata lam yaqra'u fiha al-Quran فَهِيَ خِدَاجٌ ثَلَاثًا غَيْرُ تَمَامٍ. That is, whoever performs any prayer in which he didn't read Quran, then his prayer is incomplete. And he said it 3 times. Yeah? Thalatha. Okay? And then Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what about, when we stand behind Imam? So Imam is reciting, so we are listening. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, read it to yourself, for I heard the... Abu Hurairah said, Abu Hurairah said that, read it to yourself even when Imam is reciting. So you do it yourself inside. Yeah? Why? Because I heard Rasulullah said this. قال الله عز وجل قسمت الصلاة بيني وبين عبدي نصفين. That you're saying this half and half, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, in essence, it is divided half and half, not as a part. Are you getting my point? Basically, whatever conversation happens, it is divided half and half. The ultimate result. Between, I don't want to, Allah is saying that I don't want to give it to anybody else. It is only me and my slave, that's it. Nobody can enter here. No murshid, no peer, nothing. Yeah? Okay. So now, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَبَيْنَ عَبْدِي نِصْفَيْنِ وَلِعَبْدِي. Okay. Then, ما سال فإذا قال الحمد لله رب العالمين قال الله حمدني عبدي. Basically, you can see Nisfain, how is it coming? This half and half. Yeah, basically, it's like between me and you, him and me conversation is happening. If he says something, I say something, half and half. It's not about the Surah Fatiha being divided into half. Yeah. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Alright? Okay. So, when my slave says, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, all the praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is Rabbul Alameen, yeah? Then immediately Allah becomes so happy, He says that Hamidani Abdi, oh, my slave praised me. Can you see? So, in that place, what do? We are in so much rush, isn't it? that we do not give the chance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say it. As if we don't want to give the chance, isn't it? Na'uzubillah. This is such a great conversation, isn't it? It is not the conversation with the Prime Minister or the President. It is the Rabbul Alamin, the Lord of all the worlds, isn't it? My creator, my sustainer, right? So I have to give a pause. Do we do that? Do we do that? Surah Fatiha. Most of us read like this, huh? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmid. Then Allah is trying to get in, yeah? And the other person. And I'm not allowing him. Yeah, so he wants to say Hamidan Ya Abdi, but I'm not allowing him to say it. Inna lillah. Isn't it? Am I making sense? And then وَإِذَا قَالَ الرَّحْمَنُ الرَّحِيمُ قَالَ اللَّهُ أَثْنَى عَلَيَّ عَبْدِي. You know, that he is saying Thana. Yeah? Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, basically he is saying something good about me, isn't it? Huh? And then Maliki Yawmiddin Qala Allah Ta'ala Majjadani Abdi, that he is talking about my glory, my status, my capacity, my power. Yeah? And then قَوَّضَ إِلَيَّ عَبْدِي فَإِذَا قَالَ إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ هَذَا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ عَبْدِي. That is the middle. Can you think? The first one is we are praising, we are acknowledging his position, isn't it? And then in the middle is هَذَا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ عَبْدِي وَلِعَبْدِي مَا سَأَلَ. So it is between me and him. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. The first part, you can see, if you want to strictly divide this Surah Fatiha into two, then you can do this way. First 3 verses, and the middle verse you divide in. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ is still, it is to the first part, isn't it? وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ is ours. And then the smell of prayer is coming there. Yeah, we are preparing ourselves to basically start asking. Isn't it? And then فَإِذَا قَالَ إِذْنَا الصِّرَاطَ. Okay, so then وَلِعَبْدِي مَا سَأَلَ. Whatever now he asks, it is for him. I am going to give him. That means you prepared Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you. You made him happy now. And he is ready. Okay, ask. This is how he is saying. In the middle of, before you say Idina Sirat, so give a pause and try to hear it. And subhanallah, you will hear it literally, and you will feel it. Because Rasulullah said, As-salatu mi'rajul mu'mineen. The salat is the mi'raj for the believers, like what Rasulullah did by going to the Sidratul Muntaha, isn't it? In the night of Mi'raj. Yeah? Because we cannot go there like Rasulullah, we cannot get to that status, but Allah has given us the what type of a prize it is? If you don't get first, second, third, consolation prize. Yeah? So we are not deprived of, just because we are the Ummah of Rasulullah, we have got the part of this Mi'raj. And Mi'raj is, what is the meaning of Mi'raj? Ma'araja. The act by which basically two people have conversation with each other. So they have to be face to face to have the conversation, isn't it? So this is the face-to-face meeting. Salat is the face-to-face meeting, and when you are reciting Quran, Allah is having conversation with you face-to-face. So feel that. If you do that, Allah is there to listen to you and whatever you ask for. And then comes Idina Siratul Mustaqim, Siratul Ladina An'amta Alayhim, Ghayril Maghdubi Alayhim Waladdallin. Ameen. And when we say this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قال الله هذا لعبدي ولعبدي ما سأل. This is for my slave and whatever he has asked for. So that means I give him Siratul Mustaqim. And then when you say, when we get the Siratul Mustaqim, we get the contentment, we get the happiness, we get whatever is best suitable for us in this dunya. So from then onward, I don't need to worry anymore. I don't need to be frustrated anymore. Do you get my point? Because Allah is saying that I have accepted your dua. Every time we say it, I have accepted it. Prayer. SubhanAllah. Any question? I think we should stop today.
When's Isha?
No. Was it beneficial today? This is just only starting, like a starter of Surah Fatiha. Would you want, if I'm happy to do it, inshallah, because I'm loving it as I'm writing. Yeah? If you want, the detail of it is there.
So
Like Rububiyat, Rahmat. In it, Tawheed is there. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een is nothing but Tawheed. Right? And then Siratul Mustaqim, the guidance. Yeah. So step by step and basically it is the summary of Quran. SubhanAllah. Would you want, inshallah, to go through in detail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Yeah? Okay then, inshallah. Let us finish here then.
Or you're talking about like you have these subtopics and then from there you work on.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
The first is the Hamd, then is the Rububiyat, then is the Rahmat. Yeah? Then is the Tawheed. Right? No, then is the judgment. The just. Okay? His justice, effectively. And then comes the what is it? The Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een is the Tawheed. And opposite of it is Shirk. Yeah? And then finally is the guidance, the Hidayat. Yeah? So we can divide it into all these topics, inshallah. Maybe in the next week, what we will do is we will do Rububiyat, inshallah. If you can try to study about Rububiyat before, try to study about the Rob itself, the word. If we understand Rob, we don't need to understand anything else. And what's the difference between Rob and Ilah? If you could try to find out. There is a very distinct difference between these two. And why Allah has put in kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there Rob is not there. Can you see? Yeah? So what's the significance of it? Try to think about it, inshallah we'll discuss. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.